What up, agents? Prime here. It's exotic day today. Today I'm gonna show you how to obtain all the exotics. Are you ready? Let's go! What up, guys? Welcome to another Division 2 video. Thanks for clicking my content. Really appreciate you watching it. If you like my content, don't forget to smash that like button. But for today, we're gonna talk about all the exotics and how to get the exotics. In the last couple of weeks, I got more and more questions how to get the exotics within TU11 or how to get an exotic while the season is ended already, or did they change the drop rate? So these are a couple of questions that I got a lot on my Discord channel or on my channel itself, and today I'm gonna clear the air and talk about everything. And starting with the three different factors that come into play when farming for an exotic. You of course have the unique exotic loot pool. Then we will have an heroic and legendary loot pool, and of course the targeted loot pool. And the unique loot pool is the pool with original missions and or named bosses you need to take out that will always give you a chance to get that exotic to drop. So for example, if you play an hyena mission, you will always have the chance to get a merciless to drop, although it isn't rifle on targeted loot. And then we have the heroic and legendary exotic pool, and this is just the pool for every exotic that also can drop in the targeted loot. But remember guys, these are all separate from each other. And then of course the targeted loot, self-explanatory of course. If you farm in a mission or an open world with, for example, a rifle, you will always have the chance to get a diamond back and or a merciless to drop. And just like I mentioned, to make it interesting, you can stack the three. So let's take the merciless again for an example. Go for an hyena mission, get it on heroic or legendary of course, and then with the targeted loot, rifle on there. These are the three different loot pools that we can get it out of, and then combining it will give you the best chance of getting that exotic to drop. After TU10, a lot changed within the exotic loot pool, and especially for the targeted loot pool, because we do not need blueprints anymore. We do not need to get the gun from their unique source first to get it to drop in the open world. No, they changed that. From now on we can just farm it in the open world, and almost every exotic can drop in the targeted loot pool. And of course there are a few exotics that still need a blueprint to get it to drop in the open world, or in the targeted loot areas. And let's start with the 5 exotics. Yes guys, only 5 exotics need a blueprint before we can get it to drop in the open world. And those are of course the Nemesis, the Chatterbox, the Dodge City Gunslinger's Holster, the Liberty, and now with the summit, the Ridgeway's Pride. And these are all the 5 exotics that need a blueprint or a crafting blueprint before you can get it to drop in the open world. And then of course we have a few exotics that are locked. So for example, the Eagle Bearer is locked behind the Operation Dark Hours. Then we have the Ravenous locked behind the Operation Iron Horse. Just like the Regulus is locked behind the Operation Iron Horse as well. And then we have another one, and that's the Bighorn. And the Bighorn can only drop on named enemies on Legendary. So after playing a Legendary mission, the last boss has a chance to drop that Bighorn. But now we have the summit of course, and it can also drop on the legendary floors of the summit. And then we have season exotics guys, and season exotics are the exotics you can obtained through the current season, like we have now the backfire and the memento. We need to grind to a certain level to get a backfire and further for that memento. So you need to grind that whole season through to get the 2 exotics. But what if you cannot grind the whole season? Or what if you skip that season, or for whatever reason you didn't play that season? Don't worry guys, after a season is done, they will end up in the general loot pool. But for now, for example this season, the memento and the backfire are not in the open world, so are not in the targeted loot pool until you get them to drop. So if you get to that level 55 for the backfire, you get that backfire, then you will have a chance to get it to drop in the targeted loot. Just like with the memento, if you go to the level 90 of this current season, you will get the memento. After that, you can farm that memento backpack within that targeted loot. And of course, we can get all these exotics through the exotic caches. Yes, all exotics except for the locked exotics can be obtained through the exotic caches. So why do the season at all? Fair question, but this is just the easiest way to get the exotic, because you get guaranteed the exotic. If you grind up to that 55 or that 90 level in the season, you are guaranteed for those 2 exotics. While if you don't do the season, come back, you need to grind and grind for it to get a possibility to drop. And this is just guaranteed, so the seasons are the best way to get the exotics. So in my opinion guys, grind this season, grind that 55, grind that 90, especially for that memento backpack. It's a very nice backpack to have, fits a lot of builds. But again, if you cannot keep up, if you cannot get to that 55 or you cannot get to that 90, do not worry. After this season, the memento and the backfire will get into the open world or in the targeted loot pool. But Prime, I didn't hear you talk about the Diamondback. We need to finish Kenley before getting that Diamondback, right? No, we don't. Just like I explained, with TU10 a lot has changed. So does the Diamondback. So of course, to get an example for that Diamondback, you can farm it in the open world in missions if it has targeted loot for rifles, or once per character clear whole Kenley. So get the whole Kenley College expedition cleared and you will get the Diamondback as well. So yes, next to the Diamondback, I know there are a lot of other questions about all the other exotics. So let's dive into all the exotics and I will show you where to get them, what their unique source is, and what in my opinion is the best way to farm them. So let's dive in the exotic gear first. And this is what I cooked up guys. Just easy exotic gear, first column exotic gear. Second, unique source, so where can you find them for the first time, or what is their special mission, and then what is in my opinion the best way to farm. So let's start with the Acosta's Go Bag. Unique source is faction caches, and then in my opinion the best way to farm is go for targeted loot backpack on heroic and or go for the faction caches itself. And then for the BTSU data gloves, the unique source is Camp White Oak. In my opinion the best way is to go for targeted loot on a Black Tusk mission on heroic. So get that ×3 on there and you will probably find that BTSU gloves sooner than later. Then over to the Coyote's Mask. The unique source is Jefferson Trade Center. The best way to farm it, targeted loot, mask on Jefferson Trade Center, playing it on heroic. Over to the Imperial Dynasty. Unique source Cleaner's Mission Boss. So go for holsters as a targeted loot on tombs or stranded tanker and put it on heroic. The Ninja Bike Messenger knee pads. Yes guys, we do not have to find them in the DZ first before getting them in the open world to drop or getting them in the targeted loot. Of course, the unique source for the Nia bike are the Dark Zone supply drops, but the best way to farm them is on knee pads, on heroic, just on a mission or in the open world. And then the Sawyer's knee pads, Hyena's mission boss, and then of course get the targeted loot of knee pads on a Hyena mission and get it on heroic. And then over to the tardigrade armor system, the True Sons mission bosses will drop this for you. And then of course put it on targeted loot chest on a True Sons mission and put it on heroic. And then the last one, the Val mask. It doesn't have a unique source because it came through a season, and the best way to farm this is put it on mask, targeted loot, and then put the mission or your whole map on heroic. So this is the whole list of all exotic gear that you can get within the targeted loot without getting it from their unique source first or getting their blueprint. So let's switch over to the exotic weapons. And as you can see, same principle, exotic weapon, unique source for getting the weapon, and then the best way to farm it, in my opinion. Starting with the Bullet King and Riker's mission boss is the unique source to get this LMG to drop. Of course, get the targeted loot on LMGs, then play Pathway Park or Wall Street, and then put it on heroic. And then over to the Chameleon. And like we know, the unique source for the Chameleon are bounties. And then targeted loot ARs, go for a bounty and have your map on heroic. Best way to farm this Chameleon. Over to the Diamondback. Yes, just like I explained guys, we do not need to complete Canley College Expedition first. You can, but you don't have to. So if you already have done it and you want another Diamondback, go for rifles and then for the open world heroic, or of course put that mission on heroic. Over to the Lady Death, and yes guys, we do not have to find an open world named in New York first to get the Lady Death to drop. We can also farm this SMG on heroic mission or open world. Then over to the Mantis, again no unique source because it was tied to the season rewards, and to farm this go for MMR on a heroic mission or heroic open world. And then over to the Merciless. The unique source for this Merciless is of course the Hyena's mission boss, or get targeted loot rifle on a Hyena mission and put it on heroic. Over to the Pestilence, and yes, again, we do not have to find this in the Dark Zone first before it can drop for us in the targeted loot. So Pestilence, of course, unique source, Dark Zone. Best way to farm is go for the LMG in targeted loot and go for a heroic mission or open world, or even go for the Dark Zone itself. And then for the last exotic gun, the Sweet Dreams. The unique source of the Sweet Dreams is the Outcast mission boss. And then of course, best way to farm this, have the target loot on shotgun, on an Outcast mission, and then on heroic. And yeah guys, these are all the exotic weapons and exotic gear that we can find in the open world just by targeted loot system. So we do not have to get that blueprint, we do not have to find them in their unique source to get them to drop. So I hope this clears up a lot of your questions, and go farm every exotic that you don't have yet. And please let me know what you think about all the exotics, and of course the up and coming changes within the summit. That's gonna be very interesting as well to get the exotics, but we need to test that out first. But for today, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to smash that like button and hit that subscribers button, and of course the notification bell. PurePrime out!